Hi, it's Megan. I am going to do a video review for the Christian Louboutin Tornade Blonde, and I only have a sample, which Saks very kindly sent me in one of my orders. Just a quick comment, I have like glitter glow everywhere all over my face, so if you see that, it's because of the video that I did before, because I've had scheduling issues, and so I just get it done when I get it done. So they sent a really nice size sample, and these just came out. They are, well, there are 3 new scents from Christian Louboutin. They are $275 for 2.7 ounces, which is 80 milliliters. This one seems to be the one that's getting, I don't know, the most positive comments. I wish I could say I didn't like it, but I really like it a lot. So they say Tornade Blonde is not a color, but a state of mind. The scent of love and adventure. It captivates with a gorgeous red rose set deep in a bed of sweet violet and cassis. Feminine and potent, animalistic yet floral. Tornade Blonde leaves a trail of light like a comet. It's a burst of potent sensuality, an invitation to follow. Tornade Blonde is the scent of desire. I wanted to concentrate women and her desires. I wanted these fragrances to enhance an aspect of her personality, or perhaps reveal something about her that no one knew before, maybe not even her. Tell a secret, a story. In a way, crafting these fragrances is like being a film director. Some directors want to control the acting process. Others want to reveal the power of character and personality. This is what I try to evoke with shoes and now with alchemy of fragrance. I wanted to give women the means to express themselves and to delight in their femininity. So that's Christian Louboutin speaking. So the notes are rhubarb, violet leaves, ambrette signature, cassis, Bulgarian rose, jasmine sambac, absolute, orange flower petals, fernot, gardenia from Brazil, ambergris, cedarwood, Australian sandalwood, patchouli. And the style is adventurous, feminine, and potent. So let's get into it. First of all, this wears beautifully on me. I would say 9+ hours. I sprayed it one morning when I was going to be out all day, and I had my little note sheet, whatever, that I was going to take notes because I knew I would have like little time to write stuff down during the day, and it lasted like all day, and that was really nice. And I didn't have to like spray on a ton of it to get that. So just to sum it up first, and then I'll go into kind of all the little details. First of all, to sum it up, this was kind of fun because I read these perfume reviews and there are people who are like, well, 3 hours in it smells like that, and 5 hours in it smells like that, and a lot of perfumes I'm like, well, an hour it smells like this, and then an hour later it smells like exactly the same, and then an hour later it smells exactly the same. This does not. It actually evolves, which was kind of fun for me. Some scents do and some scents don't. This one does. I like that. But to me, this one was like, yeah, something a woman doesn't know about herself. It's surprising. It's surprisingly feminine and delicate and sexy and dirty at the same time. And I was trying to think, okay, who could I imagine wearing this? And I ended up with Grace Kelly, because like she was so, you know, perfect and together, and but then there was that other side of her. So there was that sexy side of her too, where, you know, she had quite a personal life. Okay, so when it first goes on, I get a burst of fresh but warm and sophisticated flowers. And the violet flowers are softening. So when I looked at a lot of the elements, there's a certain amount of sweetness in the ingredients or the elements, the notes that doesn't come through so much in the perfume. It does have a sweet softening to it, but it is not just a simple floral. And so I felt like the violet leaves kind of added a little freshness, a little greenness, so that it doesn't smell too floral bouquet, but yet it smells like a softened floral bouquet. And that's one of the most interesting things about this fragrance. As I put it on, as it wears, as it blends, as it changes, nothing overpowers. So everything complements and softens. And it's not in your face, over the top. It's very sophisticated and subtle, but totally there. So then a little bit later, maybe 15-20 minutes, I get burning wood, and I get incense, but it's like a fresh incense. It's not like a flower incense or a dusty incense. It's a fresher sort of an incense, a little bit cleaner than some, and not super burning. And I get the overlay of the flowers still. So it's like you're in not one of those musty old temples, but like you're in a temple with lots of blooming flowers nearby, very fresh. There's no artificiality to the scents and the elements. The flowers evolve and they really all come together, they blend. At this point I start smelling a little bit of fruitiness from the rhubarb, but it's a sweet fruitiness, not sweet fruitiness, it's a sour kind of fruitiness in a good way. And it's a rich depth. But as much as it's a rich depth, it's lightening. Somehow, even like the wood, because I can smell sandalwood throughout the whole. And the patchouli, if you don't like incense or patchouli, it's like barely there. It's not that strong, but it adds kind of a mysticism and a sensuality to it. The violet leaves start getting a little bit dustier, but it's still so warm and open. When I was smelling it the entire time, I kept thinking it's warm. It's just a really warm, it's just warm. And how does that happen? Because a lot of these elements don't seem to blend, but I think it is just that wood and that patchouli, very soft, especially the sandalwood. I smell the sandalwood personally more than I smell the cedar wood. Over time, it starts getting a little bit less floral at a certain point. Later on, it gets way more floral. And the elements continue again, blending. And I had to look up ambergris. I know, I should know by now, but I don't. And I found that is a wax-like substance that originates in the secretions in the intestines of the sperm whale. It's found floating in tropical seas and used in perfume manufacturing. So it's either, there are different kinds. Sperm whales are either vomiting it or it's coming out their they say passed with fecal matter. And so the pieces float in the ocean, they get hardened, they get a coating on it, and then it's used in perfume. How glamorous is that? But the scents under it, elements, are marine, animalistic, and sweet. They say rubbing alcohol without the vaporous astringency. And I definitely get that kind of animalistic, marine element. Again, the sweetness is there but deceptive. It's a soft, barely sweet. It's not a gourmand. It's not any of that, cloying stuff. It's a clean, sleek version of what it sounds like. Ambrette is a plant-based substitute for musk, and then they say it's sweet, cozy, sexual, and I definitely get the little muskiness as the perfume wears on. I don't get it in the first burst, but both of these just kind of that musky, animalistic, watery, really starts building as the perfume wears. I don't get it in the first hint, but over time it starts being like the incense or the patchouli, noticeable but so very subtle, which keeps the perfume very sophisticated. So then I get a burst of gardenia and jasmine. At this point, it becomes richer in the florals and it becomes a little bit sexier, more animalistic. It softens then again and smells like a very sophisticated garden with a very sexy sandalwood wearing lady there. A few hours, the rose and violet leaves are a little bit stronger. It becomes more floral again, but I always get that sandalwood, that muskiness. And then this was what amazed me. Like 9 or 10 hours in, I smelled it again, and it was still so potent. And I really got the jasmine, the rose, the gardenia, and I got the fruit, incense, touch of sandalwood. It still had that marine element, and it still had a little bit of muskiness. So it was kind of all blended together. I don't know if you're getting a really good image, but it's like all these different elements that don't smell artificial. They smell like high quality or natural ingredients always, which impressed me because so many perfumes now smell like chemicals. This one smells natural. But it's this just warm, sophisticated, soft floral with just so much more. So I hate to say that I was blown away by this, but I really like it. I wish it were cheaper. $2.75 means this is what I'm going to be getting. But it's nice. At least I got this. So I appreciate that. If you have this or if you have the other two, which I have not had a chance to enjoy yet, I would love to hear your thoughts. Thanks for watching, and I hope that was a clear review. They're always tough.